Jordyn's going to be out for the game. You have, Miles and Boogie are, probably going to be questionable. Haven't gotten many reps in practice. Brooke is going to be questionable. So we'll have the full injury report out today, but we're banged up. Like I told the guys, nobody cares. We got to get guys healthy. We got to work to get healthy. But we got to go out there and fight and compete.
Happy Hump Day and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, presented by Branded Bills. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use that code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by the man through my screen and onto yours. That is, of course, my passenger princess, Erik Ruby. We've got the deli man behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Wes Beasy in the chat, John Pickens, DJ Don, Emily, Lee, Satan's here, Ben, the Green M&M, Josh, Short Bus, Rob. We got a loaded show today with a ton of MVPs and members in that supporters club here, Erik, all for the same reason, because Jordyn Tyson is not going to play on Saturday. We found that out from Kenny Dillingham following Arizona State's Wednesday practice, that Tyson would indeed be out against Houston. Before we get too deep into that, just in terms of how Arizona State replaces Jordyn Tyson or attempts to do that, what we've seen at practice, Kenny was asked to follow up about Jordyn Tyson's injury, if this is something that could linger, if this could potentially be a multi-week injury, and this was Dilly's response.
I'm not ready to comment on that right now. This is something I'm, trying to protect him from himself. I mean, that dude's a competitor out there, playing the end of the last game, making plays. So this is something that, we're making a decision to kind of protect him from him a little bit, because he is such a competitor.
That's obviously not what you want to hear if you're an Arizona State fan. Tyson has not practiced the last 2 days, was not practicing on Tuesday, and did not practice today as well. Then Dilly, post-practice, dropped that news that Tyson would indeed be out. Initial reaction, Rubus, how we feeling? Obviously, I know it's not like a yay type of day, but how we feeling?
Bad.
Yeah.
Not great. Yeah, this really sucks. This really sucks. You do appreciate the fact that he gritted it out against Texas Tech and that he stayed in the game and was a major reason as to why they won that game, especially post hamstring injury, cramp, whatever you want to call it. Clearly not a cramp. It sucks, but it's football. I know that there are other injuries, and this team has undergone some massive changes due to injury already. Obviously, most notably that left guard spot and Ben Coleman. This is just what you have to deal with when you play the sport of football. Sometimes you miss your best player. Sometimes you lose your best player. And what do you do to respond to that? Houston is a good football team, but Arizona State can still beat them without Jordyn Tyson. And I think the emergence of Jaron Hamilton, his first 100-yard receiving game, was perfect timing. But it's who else beyond that in this receiving core is going to step up. And what can Sam Leavitt do now without wide receiver one his last 2 years? And of course, he was missing his running back one from last year, all of this season. So what can he do? This is a big opportunity for him to make a point, kind of like he's been making the last few weeks, but with less help.
Yeah, Jordyn Tyson is irreplaceable for this Arizona State team, especially at this point in the season. Yes, you're going to have players that need to step up, but realistically, it's going to take more than just a wide receiver having a big day or a tight end getting involved to really, impact the game the way that Jordyn Tyson has through these 7 games this season. Somebody that leads the Big 12 in every major statistical category that's relevant to a wide receiver, was on pace to break multiple Arizona State single-season records. He's got 57 catches, 628 yards, and 8 touchdowns through the first 7 games of the 2025 college football season for Arizona State. And we know realistically outside of Jordyn Tyson that the wide receiver room has been rather lackluster in terms of consistent production. We saw against Mississippi State, Derek Eusebio, he had some moments. We saw just last week, Jaron Hamilton had himself some moments. You go back even to 2024, and what birthed your guy, Malik McClain, was a couple of big-time snags and big-time moments when Tyson wasn't out there, right? So I think it's going to take a little bit of all those guys. I think Shimon Mateer being out there is certainly going to be a major factor. I would expect a bump in terms of his target share. I also think when you're looking at this game, I think Arizona State is going to run the football. Now, I get it. Houston is a team that defends against the run pretty well, similar to Texas Tech. Arizona State, though, I think is going to need to establish the ground game again. But what I will say, if you were going to lose Jordyn Tyson for this week, I think ultimately it's going to set you up better long-term if the season, again, continues beyond the regular season for the Sun Devils. It's going to set ASU up in a better position, assuming Sam Leavitt is able to continue to build off of what he did against Texas Tech, which is get other players involved, which we know has at times been a struggle so far this season, Erik.
Yeah, this is a game where if you pushed Jordyn Tyson and it's a muscle injury, and you're like, you know what? We're going to treat this like it's our championship game, right? Against a 6-1 Houston team, but an unranked Houston team. And Jordyn Tyson's out there for a quarter before he aggravates it, and now he's out for the next 4 weeks, next 5 weeks, maybe the rest of the season. You just can't afford to do that. You have to take the risk out of it for a guy like that, because this team can sit back and say, if we had Jordyn Tyson last year in the college football playoffs, we probably beat Texas, right? So you don't push that in the middle of the season. I think coming off of this Texas Tech game, especially how the game was schemed offensively to get the ball out early from Sam and some short and intermediate. Oh man, that word's been kicking my ass.
Intermediate
passes, yeah, intermediate passes. I was trying to add an intermediary. Yeah, I think that's it.
You need some more dynamism in you.
Yeah, dynamism for sure.
Great callback.
I think the way that was schemed is going to play into the favor of getting guys like Eusebio, like Shimon, like Ralik involved, because none of those guys I would consider some massive deep threats. This is also a really important week, though, beyond the weapons that Sam Leavitt has, for Sam Leavitt to be back as the mobile quarterback that he has been. And we saw it at times against Tech, but it was clear that guy was at best 70%.
And he's
right?
still not 100%.
Right. But can he be 85%? Can he be 90%? Can he be enough to keep this Houston defense honest? Because you think about some of the big plays that they were making against Tech when Sam was moving. Who did he find on a lot of those? Jordyn Tyson. And so if you're losing that element and now this defense can key in a little bit more on Sam while he's running, is he healthy enough to get that extra burst, to get that extra change of pace and run some of those plays that he ended up throwing against Tech? So it's going to be a big test for him and not an ideal week for him to not be 100% again, but hopefully he's good enough to where those legs become about 80% as much of a threat as they have been in weeks before, whereas Texas Tech, I'd say it was like 20 to 25%.
Yeah, and this is the second straight season now where at least one game, Arizona State is going to be without their top offensive weapon. Obviously, Jordyn Tyson missed the Big 12 championship game and missed that college football playoff game against Texas, like you had said. But more so looking at the specific weapon in 2024, Arizona State played a home game against UCF without Cam Skattebo and ended up winning that game 35-31. Now, Sam Leavitt statistically wasn't tearing up that UCF defense. Overall, just 16 of 25 for $161. And on the ground, it was Kyson Brown with 18 carries for 73 yards. But Sam Leavitt did not turn the ball over in that game, and he threw 3 touchdowns. This is a game for me that Sam Leavitt is going to have to be the field general. He is going to have to step into that stardom that I think we talked a lot about in the offseason, that folks at the national level talked about, and people that are honestly having the discussion about if Sam Leavitt comes back a year from now, what's the narrative going to be? Well, it's going to be, you had Cam Skattebo your redshirt freshman season, who is a top 15 back in the NFL as it stands right now. You have Jordyn Tyson in 2025, who is by all accounts expected to be the first wide receiver off the board in the 2026 NFL draft, solidify himself as at least a top 10 pick in that draft. It's going to be on you in 2026, right? There is no other star out there that got here when Dilly got here. You are that final guy, and you're the quarterback of this team. You've had amazing moments to this point. I would say he's coming off maybe his best 2-game stretch that he's played at Arizona State outside of maybe the Arizona-Iowa State back-to-back in 2024. And he needs to be every bit of Sam Leavitt in this game because you don't have Tyson. You don't have Scat. It's like nobody's coming to save you in this game. It is going to be on Sam Leavitt's right arm and his legs to get the job done here. Yes, you're going to lean on those other wide receivers to be impactful. 1,000%. Raleek Brown is going to be a factor in this game. The defense needs to play with its ears pinned back the same way that it did against Texas Tech. But if this game is a win for the Arizona State Sun Devils, or even if it's a loss, everybody and their mother is going to be talking about how Sam Leavitt performed in this game because you don't have Tyson, you don't have Scat. It is fully going to be on Sam Leavitt to get the job done. And whether that's fair or not, right, we get it. It's a team game. You got a bunch of players. Everyone's doing their 111th out there. But at the end of the day, it's your starting quarterback, somebody who has never lost at home. And you got a home game, Erik, against a 6-1 football team that despite what everybody is saying about this matchup specifically, they're a talented squad that they can win on any given Saturday.
Oh, yeah, you could absolutely lose this game this Saturday. You could have lost the game this Saturday with Jordyn Tyson out there. I think the biggest difference to last year missing Cam Skattebo against UCF and this year missing Jordyn Tyson against Houston is the fact that Houston is a much better football team than UCF last year. And a Houston team that's kind of out for blood, right? This is a Houston team that's not considered a contender in the Big 12 as of right now. You don't hear their name mentioned with the Utahs, the Texas Techs, the BYUs, even Cincinnati now, despite having just as good or a better record than some of those teams.
They have a better record than ASU.
Right. And so, this is a team where they haven't played a real road game this season against a good opponent. They played at Oregon State. Corvallis is a hard place to play, but the team isn't. And at Rice, right? Other than that, it's all been home games for them. And their only losses to Texas Tech. When you look at Sam and you say, okay, well, now Sam is playing against this good football team at home where he's never lost. And not only that, but this team can't afford to lose. Again, if Arizona State loses another game, their odds of making the Big 12 championship and thus a college football playoff appearance are not zero, but they're pretty damn close. Arizona State needs to win out, and even then they still might not make.
I don't know if it's. I don't know about all that. It's not. It definitely hurts your chances for sure. But the odds to say it goes from what it is now to almost zero is, I think, a little out there. There's still 5 games left in the season. BYU still plays a ton of difficult teams. Cincinnati, I'm still not 1,000% sold on them. And you have the tiebreaker if you do have the same conference record over Texas Tech. So there's still a lot of football left to be played. I agree. It certainly hurts your chances. 1,000%. There is no denying that a loss to Houston hurts your chances, and you have to claw, scratch, and battle your way up and get some help. 1,000%. But it doesn't go to near zero if you lose this game.
It's a dramatic drop off. If you want to call it near zero or not, it's dramatic. Really in my mind, like, the only way you make the conference championship game is if you go undefeated. Not like technically speaking, not saying it's impossible, but if Arizona State drops another game, especially to a team like a Houston, like an Iowa State, that is realistically going to be somewhere in contention there, it's going to basically put it against all odds. Yeah. And if you're looking at that and you're looking at Sam, right, and this journey that Sam has been on this season, where the beginning of the season, he said he was trying to do too much hero ball, right? It kind of felt like he was trying to do too much. And then all of a sudden he kind of settles in a little bit, and now other guys are getting involved, and now maybe it's not as much hero ball, to you're losing your offensive lineman, your best offensive lineman, right? And then you also, not for the season, but you lost the other guy that was replacing him at center, right? Now you lose your star wide receiver, your Blitnikoff candidate, Jordyn Tyson, who is the only person who's in the conversation for best player on the team with you, and likely is the best player on the team, and that's not being disrespectful to Sam Leavitt. You lose those two guys on the offensive side of things the season after you lose Cam Scatterbo. And it's like, okay, like you are the guy now. Everything is on you. Everything is on your shoulders. If Arizona State's going to win this game, especially with some of the other injuries that Kenny mentioned on the defensive side of the ball, Sam Leavitt's got to be the best player on the football field this Saturday. And I don't even think it could be close, because you are slowly and steadily losing that talent advantage the more that injury report gets filled up.
Yeah, and it's not just Jordyn Tyson that could potentially miss Saturday's game against Houston. Of course, Tyson is out, but a number of other Sun Devils expected to find themselves or their names on the first player availability report that will drop later today around 7 local time on the Big 12 website. Dilly did name a few other players that you could potentially see hit that player availability report. We're going to talk about them. We're going to continue talking about Tyson, and we're going to hear from Houston's head coach on the Arizona State Sun Devils after this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, man, I really, really hope you guys took some time out of your day last week to join us over at Rally House at Tempe Marketplace, because it was one hell of an environment. Especially if you're an Arizona State fan and you've never been to Rally House, I would highly, highly recommend you go check out that Tempe Marketplace location. All the locations are great, but it feels like because that one is in Tempe, you just got so much more Arizona State merch. Rubus could attest to this. The Suns have a wall, the Cardinals have a wall, even the Wildcats have a wall, but it's the Arizona State Sun Devils that have what feels like half of that whole building dedicated to Arizona State merch. It is absolutely fantastic. Jerseys, hats, socks, overalls. I got everything you could possibly imagine. Find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today.
Listen, if you're an Arizona sports fan, if you're an Arizona State fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. And take it from me, somebody who's been using Desert Financial Credit Union his whole life. But it's not just me, it's my family, my parents, my grandparents, my sister. We've all used Desert Financial Credit Union because, yes, they are financial experts committed to their members and the community, offering financial solutions that quite simply just make life better and help you achieve your financial goals and dreams. But they're not just there for the basics when things are easy, the checkings and the savings accounts, but also mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. Join a credit union that actually cares about you. And you can tell when you walk into the building, any of their locations, they have so many different employees and people there to help you out, whether you do the Erik Ruby special, which is leave your debit card at a bar, or have something a little bit more complicated that you need help with. And when you open up a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. That's right. They want to give you $200. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
Rubus, happy Suns Day, man.
Dude, 82-0 starts tonight, man.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go 82-0 if you don't go 1-0, right?
No, I mean, look, this is the most must-win of a game one that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is it the perfect matchup for the Phoenix Suns to
you know
start the
what?
2025
You know
season?
what? It actually is. It actually is. You're going up
Oh,
against
my goodness.
one of the few teams in the Western Conference that you could say probably has less talent than you, and they're missing their best player and their best power forward. And good warm-up game for Mark Williams. Suns 82-0 starts tonight.
Because who's starting at center, Ruby?
Drew Eubanks and or Dario Saric.
Drew Eubanks, baby.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The Kings are gross. The Kings are gross.
They're really gross. They're really
Aaron,
gross.
if you're a Suns fan, I better see you tonight in our pregame, watch-along, postgame show on this very channel. All of you that are Suns fans, be there. PHNX Suns season starts tonight.
And if you're going to the game, come find me and I'll airdrop you a picture of Totri.
Which picture, man?
You don't want to know.
Be careful. Be very, very careful what you ask for, chat. Definitely go check out the PHNX Suns pregame, postgame show. Follow them on social. But also, got a little watch party over at Gila, October 27th, Monday, when the Phoenix Suns take on the Utah Jazz, which I'm sure at that moment in time, Erik will be the perfect next opponent for the Phoenix Suns.
Coming off of a really brutal back-to-back against two good teams. Nice little cool-down game against Utah on the road. Already adjusted to the elevation because you played Denver 2 nights before. Definitely the perfect type of matchup for a watch-along or a watch party out there at Wild Horse Pass. Super excited. We'll have giveaways, drink specials, all sorts of really fun stuff. So come hang out with the entire PHNX Suns crew and say hi. And guess what? If you're there and you want to talk a little ASU ball, I'll talk a little ASU ball with you. I'll say hi. It's free. RSVP at gophnx.com/join. Not join, /events.
There you go. Wes Beasy in the chat saying, we hit 120 decibels last week versus Tech with another sellout. The Valley is activated in Mountain America. Is considered hostile territory. Houston has to deal with the Inferno, and I don't think they're ready. Absolutely. I think regardless of who's playing, who's not playing, Mountain America Stadium needs to be packed. A lot of things on the line, obviously extending that home win streak for Arizona State with just a couple of games left actually at Mountain America Stadium here in 2025. What's better than going undefeated at home in 2024 is going undefeated at home in 2024 and in 2025. Also something on the line, if Arizona State beats Houston on Saturday, they will have gone 5-0 against Texas opponents in 2025. That list would include Texas State, TCU, Baylor, Texas Tech, and then Houston would go a long way in terms of continuing that Texas to Tempe pipeline. So who is in, who's out, who is on the player availability report? Well, we know Kenny Dillingham said Jordyn Tyson will be out against Houston, but who else can Sun Devil fans expect to see on that player availability report?
Jordan's going to be out for the game. You have, Miles and Boogie are, probably going to be questionable. Haven't gotten many reps in practice. Crook is going to be questionable. So we'll have the full injury report out today, but we're banged up. Like I told the guys, nobody cares. We got to get guys healthy. We got to work to get healthy. We got to go out there and fight and compete.
Rubis, breaking news, not good, very bad. Injuries in football.
Breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Tough, man. If that secondary takes some more hits.
Here's the thing, though, is with those guys in the secondary, it's not even them taking hits. It's they are literal torpedoes on the field. So, they're the ones that are hurting themselves because of the way that they're playing. It's not like somebody's hitting. I'm not worried about somebody hitting Miles Rouser and being like, oh, my gosh, is he going to be okay? It's more so like Miles Rouser is going 90 miles an hour at somebody and just doesn't let up. So it's like, this is the immovable object and the unstoppable force. And Ghost and Crook and Boogie, all of them look like they will be on the player availability report. At the very best, it sounds like questionable for the majority of those guys. Something I will say, Jordan Crook did practice today, huge, after not practicing really on Tuesday. So that is big to see that he is at least back out there. you need those guys in the back end of this defense, especially considering you are still without Xavier Alford on the back end. Ghost and Boogie have been phenomenal safeties for you this season. Obviously, Ghost going back to 2024, but Boogie has been a real bright spot despite dealing with injuries in the secondary. The one thing I will add, Erik, is Montana Warren does look to be good. He looks good to go. We know the role that he played in ASU's win against Texas Tech. We also know the flexibility that you have with a guy like Montana Warren, where you can put him at nickel, you can move him back to safety. So if either of those guys ends up being out, Boogie or Ghost, I would expect to see Montana Warren at safety. Now, if they both can't go, then get ready to learn Kyan McDonald. Wouldn't be surprised if he started in the absence of both of those safeties.
Yeah, you do not want to miss either of those two guys. I mean, Boogie's been playing out of his damn mind. He's been playing like one of the best players on this defense. Just a total playmaker. Ghost is so funny because, he's obviously an extremely violent football player, right? Like he's nasty. Like we've talked about it. Yes, he is not a dirty football player, but he's nasty.
Well, he's dirty. Not like
the thing is,
what I mean.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. The thing is with him, though, he's also just like quietly one of, if not the most consistent players on the defense, too. Usually guys like that have really low lows and really high highs. But with Ghost, he's just always solid, always making a tackle, always in the right place. And Boogie's just been phenomenal. So if you're going to lose either of them, okay, if you're keeping the other one, that's fine. But, dude, if you lose both of them, it's not like Houston has the craziest receiving core and the craziest quarterback, but they're certainly competent, and they can more than take advantage of a depleted Arizona State secondary, like we mentioned, is already missing what we presume to be not just the best player in the unit, but maybe the best player on the defense this season in Xavier Alford.
Yeah, 1,000%. A couple comments in the chat that we have to get to. I want to start with Carson here. Just ripping me a new one, saying, ain't no way Totri got a chance hat on. Do not give Ox at the function. Look, man, old chance. We can agree old chance rips. Not
Absolutely.
too worried about the new chance. It's like a song every now and again, but not.
There were a couple from the last album that I was like.
There's a couple that were good, man.
It got me feeling a little something.
But nothing hits like the old chance, for sure. This is an old chance hat. We're gonna rock it. We're gonna rep it here. Wanikin says, Totri, blink twice if this is just gamesmanship and Tyson was fully participating in practice. He was not. Was not participating on either day, Tuesday or Wednesday. What I will say, though, based off of what we've seen, and this is not just at practice, but also the way that Tyson returned to Saturday's game against Texas Tech, should make you feel good that this is not necessarily a long-term injury. When it comes to hamstrings, usually and again, I'm not a medical professional here, want to totally clarify that 1,000%.
Okay, good. I was confused.
This is all just opinion-based and stuff that I have dealt with in my own life with athletes, etc. That if it was a tear, that Jordyn Tyson would not have been able to return to that game if he had tore his hamstring.
My big thing with what Kenny said in his update about Tyson is we got to keep him away from playing. Like,
if this was the Big 12 championship game, Jordyn Tyson, by all accounts, would probably be playing in this game. I don't have any doubt about that. Is if it was a win in your type of game, Tyson would 1,000%. Like, you're not keeping him off the field. He is that type of competitor. These are the types of guys that Dilly has recruited to come to Arizona State. Now, I would probably lean on the side that, again, I'm not a medical professional, but it does feel like being able to return to the game, the way that he has been walking around at practice, makes me feel like this is a hamstring strain. So not a tear, not like severe cramps or anything like that. But it does look like a hamstring strain. Again, Tyson and Dilly have not specifically gone out and said that is what the injury is. But based off of my experience with some of these things, it does feel like that's where it's gone, which is something that there isn't like anything that you can like do to help that heal. It's something that you literally just have to rest it. It's got to take time. From, again, my experience, I want to say a hamstring strain, potentially a 2 to 3 week injury before you're 1000%. But again, like, they've got such ridiculous rehab going on a daily basis that I imagine, again, we'll see what his availability looks like against Iowa State. We'll see how this week goes. We'll see what goes down in the conference to, maybe impact Arizona State's, again, Big 12 chances, etc. I'm very interested to see what his availability looks like against Iowa State. And I think a big part of that will probably fall on the result of what goes down this weekend against Houston, in all honesty.
Yeah.
In terms of Tyson's availability.
Yeah, and I think a couple good points in the chat. Chris saying hamstring injuries linger, which is true. As a Phoenix Suns and a Devin Booker fan, unfortunately, hamstring injuries can not only linger in their own right, but also when an athlete has a hamstring injury, right? Even if Jordyn Tyson plays against Iowa State, not a chance he's 100%, right? To play like that and to play that well, about as 100% as you could get. But these things linger. Athletes will then overcompensate with the other leg subconsciously, and then that can lead to calf strains, ankle sprains. And I mean, there's been some pretty serious injuries. Obviously, this is basketball, but where a star athlete will sustain a season-ending injury on the opposite leg of what they just got a hamstring injury for a couple weeks earlier because they played through it and because they overcompensated. I'm not going to say the injury. I'm not going to put that into the air, but it's bad. So you have to really take care.
We have crazy breaking news to break up this stupid thing that Eric's going on trying to jinx our football team. The NBA is painting the finals logo on the court this year.
That was like 3 years. That was like 3 hours ago.
Well, I just got an update.
You just saw it.
I never saw it. That's amazing. Well, why didn't you guys bring it up then? That's the biggest news all day.
It is nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's the basketball guy.
I mean, when the Suns are there, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
82-0.
I hope so, man. I hope for your sake that's it.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is,
Josh says that's why you have 2 hamstrings.
Yeah.
He's not
I heard they're amputating Jordyn Tyson's leg and they're giving him Malik McClain's.
Just like I'm covering the $50,000 fine, right?
Yeah. You're also covering the leg transplant surgery.
The leg transplant surgery?
Yeah.
Complete leg transplant?
Totri, here's the scenario, okay? Arizona State is in the college football playoffs, and Jordyn Tyson needs a healthy hamstring, and they go to you and say your hamstring is a match. We need to take your hamstring and give it to Jordyn Tyson and give him a chance to play in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
See, so this is what I first off say. I'd say ask Short Bus because I don't think he's using his.
Jeez, bro.
But you I think it would depend. It would depend on like the actual recovery. Like, am I out? Like, am I getting a hamstring back ever again? Am I without it for the rest of my life?
You get his injured hamstring, but the surgery makes it like a lot worse. So it's a long recovery time. But you get a hamstring. You get a hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, sure, man. I'm not using it. Like, I'm not using it to that extent. Sure, take it, man. I'm cool with it. I'm 100% cool with it. Short Bus says you can't afford his, so it is what it is at this point. What about you? Would you give your hamstring?
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Goodness gracious, man.
I would say if the recovery time is a couple of months, then yeah, probably. But if we're looking like a year-long recovery,
yeah, I'm not trying to do no year-long recovery. But yeah, if it's a few months, sure, man, take my hammy. Wait, you gonna tell me I gotta skip leg day? Sure, that's fine. I'm cool with that, dude. I'm cool with that, 1,000%. But some of those other injuries, right, with Boogie and Ghost, and just all of like this team is just really, really clawing and scratching to get to that next bye week, which kind of sucks considering it feels like they just came off a bye week before Utah, and this team's just banged up, man. You like. Kyson, we know he's out for, quote, the foreseeable future. Haven't seen Alford in some time just in terms of, like, actually being out there practicing. You mentioned Crook. Zyrus is done for the year. Boogie, Ghost, Tyson, Moss early on in the year, Leavitt at a certain point who is still not healthy, Ben Coleman up front on the injuries, with all of the shuffling going on there. This team is like, when Dilly says this team is banged up, they're banged up. They are dealing with a exuberant amount of injuries at just about every single major position. We know that they've had punting issues because of some of the injuries that the punting unit has been dealing with. This team needs to get healthy. These next 2 weeks are going to be the season for Arizona State in reality, in terms of what happens after that bye week. Because if you're able to go 2-0 and then get a week off and get healthy, my goodness, the difference,
and then play
I think,
West Virginia, which is
exactly,
like two bye weeks.
The difference you're going to see, I think, in this team from that bye week to West Virginia to Colorado to Arizona is going to be huge. But how much of it really matters until, if you don't go 2-0, right? You have to go 2-0 in these next two games to still realistically achieve what you want to achieve. Chris asking, how is Raleek? I know you're not the only person that's been asking about Raleek. We had Sharon in the Die Hard Discord actually ask about Raleek earlier. Raleek is practicing. He's practicing in full from everything that we can see. So there doesn't appear to be any concern for Raleek Brown's health. And I think he's going to have to play a big role in this game against Houston as well, but not just as a guy running the football, but a weapon outside of the ground attack, somebody that is going to be a role in the receiving game, a former wide receiver in his own right at USC, former 5-star kid coming out of high school. You need to see every ounce of talent that Raleek Brown has on Saturday against Houston at home to win this game without your star wide receiver in Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah. Your back's against the wall, but that's where this team does thrive, right? I mean, think about it. They put together their most complete game last season when they were missing Jordyn Tyson against Iowa State. And your secondary receivers, and including a guy that literally didn't play all season, made the biggest plays of the season and beat a really good Iowa State team at a neutral site. The DNA of this team is to win when people don't expect you to. And we also know that Kenny's done a really good job of building depth, right?
Yeah.
Why do we know the name Martell Hughes? Because last season, not because of injuries, but last season, targeting took a couple of guys out. Martell Hughes steps in. Oh no, it's Caleb McCullough. Never mind. Different guy. My bad. But you have guys in the 2 deep. You have guys in the 3 deep. And hopefully this game kind of shows off some of that depth at wide receiver. And sometimes games like this is all a guy like Jaron Hamilton needs, to feel like, okay, I can be that wide receiver 1. Right? Or maybe it affords an opportunity to Malik McClain to step up because he knows he's needed, or Eusebio, or Jalen Moss, who hasn't had a chance to really get integrated in the offense. Like, we talked about the depth all summer, and now's the time for that depth to shine.
Count these guys out for me, okay?
I'm never counting these guys out, Totri. What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah,
Just
I got you. I'm messing around.
Jaron Hamilton, Derek Eusebio, Corey Butler, Harry Hassman, Zechariah Sample, Jalen Moss, and I believe Malik McClain.
Who's the second last guy?
Jalen Moss.
I don't know who that is.
He exists. He was out there today.
Eusebio not involved?
I said Eusebio first one.
Oh,
yeah.
My bad.
So what's that? 6?
7.
7? 6, 7?
I'm literally holding up on screen.
Come on, man. You knew where I was going with it. Arizona State will not have Jordyn Tyson in 2026. Right? Spoiler. He's not going to be here.
What happened?
Not going to be in Tempe unless he's an Arizona Cardinal. Right? You don't have a true number 1 wide receiver on this roster that has proved themselves, that is the next guy up. Even when Elijah Badger was here at the same time as Jordyn Tyson, you saw him in practice for a few weeks at the same time. EK obviously went on to Florida. Tyson took over. You could see the talent. It was everybody, when these two guys were on the field together, it was like, you've got maybe one of the best wide receiver duos in the country. And then EK left, and it's like, okay, Tyson's the one. Right now, you look at Arizona State's wide receiver core, and it's Jordyn Tyson, right? And then there's a couple other guys that are like, you're good, you're good. Tyson is the filet mignon. Everybody else right now is the sides, at least offensively in the wide receiver room. At the end of the day, People will love their mashed potatoes. They'll love their green beans. They'll love their mac and cheese, but you're still going for the steak. That's what you want. Tyson is that steak. It's time for somebody else to solidify themselves, put their name out there, have their moment so that when Tyson is gone, you have somebody as a team, you have somebody as a fan base that you can look to and say, you know what, that guy's next up. He's the next wide receiver one at Arizona State. And I know Arizona State always gets the love at running back, right? The Rashad Whites, the Xavier Valades, the Eno Benjamins, now the Cam Scataboos. There have been some pretty damn good wide receiver ones to come through Tempe. Jalen Strong, N'Keal Harry, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Badger, Jordyn Tyson. Who's next? I have no doubt that Arizona State is going to find another running back if and when Raleek Brown is done, right? No doubt about it. I want to see who's next at wide receiver. Are they on the roster? Are they not? I think this will be the game that tells you if you have a true number one wide receiver ready to rock in 2026 if Tyson and when Tyson is gone, right?
Yeah.
Who is it? Is it Eusebio? Is it Harry Hassman? Is it one of these young guys that nobody has seen? Is it Zechariah Sample? Is it a guy like Malik McClain who finally puts it together? Is it Jalen Moss?
It's Jaron Hamilton, right? Like, I mean, out of all the names that you said, the guy that has the most potential and the guy who's actually shown that he has the chops of being a wide receiver one, even if it was just in last game with his 3 catches for over 100 yards, it's Jaron Hamilton, right? He's got the pedigree, he's got the speed, he's got the skills, he's getting better, and this is a huge week for him. I mean, listen, I love Derek Eusebio as a weapon, and I think he's had a great season. And I think that he could be a great contributor in the wide receiver room, but you can't go into a season with Derek Eusebio as your wide receiver one, right? Like you need a guy with the tangible ceiling like Jaron Hamilton to go in there and be your wide receiver one. I think he's the only other guy on this roster. He's the only other guy on this roster right now who could be a wide receiver one, at least from what we've seen. From what we've seen, he's got to do it. He has to do it this weekend. Like there is not a choice. It is not you have to be supplementary to Jordyn Tyson. No, you need to go out there and you need to have 100 yards receiving. You need to get yourself open and you need to not make mistakes so that Sam can hit you on that deep ball like he did multiple times against Texas Tech.
Aaron in the chat says we better get a transfer in 2026. I have no doubts they will get themselves at least one, maybe 2 transfers at the wide receiver position when the portal does eventually open. Rob says, is Noble Johnson real? Noble Johnson is real. He's also not real healthy. So don't expect to see Noble Johnson. You probably won't see Noble Johnson the rest of the year. So look forward to next season when it comes to Noble. The tight ends are going to be interesting. Shaman Kamari had a good day at practice today. That reminds me, Wes Beasy, if you are still in the chat, message me. I got something that happened at practice today for you that I could share with you. I can't really share it with anybody else, unfortunately. But yeah, you message me, Wes Beasy.
This game is going to be a big tight end game. It feels, or it should be a big tight end.
It should be
because of all of the Houston's defense is essentially a shell the entire time. It's like they want you to beat them with little cuts. And ASU has not been able to do that through the air. They can do that in the ground game for sure. And easy. I think that's where they're going to win. But they need to be able to do that in the passing game as well because they can't become one-dimensional. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if Jaron Hamilton is that guy this week.
Who do you think would be the guy?
I mean, if Jalen Moss existed, he would be the perfect guy.
He exists, man. He's just not.
What? Is he not what, Totri?
He's just not getting the reps, man. He's not getting reps with ones.
Okay, then
he's just not.
Then it's Derek Eusebio time.
Give me the White Wonder.
I think this will be a
White
big
Wonder.
Stop.
Julian Edelman, Ladd McConkey.
Dude.
They stand. They walked so that Derek Eusebio could run. Okay? Let him be the guy, man.
Coben Bourget.
Love the guy.
AJ
Maybe, man.
Has it been the normal tight end?
Yeah, in terms of rotation, it's Shaman, Kamari, and then and Harple have been in there, and then it's AJ. at the end there.
AJ is hanging out with Jalen Moss
He's hanging out with the twos, man.
In Blues Clues land.
Blues Clues land is crazy. Blues Clues
I
was
just
a
got a
go to
letter.
commercial or not? Or
I
go to
wonder who
show.
it's from. It's Jalen Moss. He says, "I'm real, I promise."
That's what the letter from Jalen says. Oh my goodness. No, Les BZ, it's a good thing, man. I promise, it's a good thing. I just, again, certain rules I'm not allowed to share, but you're a dad of somebody on the team, so I can share it. And it has to do with Champ. So that's why I want to share it with you.
They're running Champ as an X receiver. That's what's happening.
Your new starting running back, Champ Westbrook. Yeah, just hit me up on social. Look, we are going to hear from Houston's head coach about Arizona State and about the Cougars after we take this quick break. The thing I love about all of our PHNX partners is that most of them, if not all of them, are trying to help you save money like every single day. And Circle K, well, in my eyes, they do it just as good as anybody, if not the best, with Inner Circle. It's their free membership program. It takes like 30 seconds to sign up. Go to the App Store, email, phone number, the whole thing. And then you're going to be a part of that Inner Circle. You are going to pull up to the pump, and you guys, for your first 5 fill-ups as an Inner Circle member, are going to save 25 cents off per gallon. And there is no better time to sign up for Inner Circle than right now, because on October 23rd, which if you check your calendars is tomorrow, Thursday, you've got an Inner Circle Fuel Day. Thursday at from 6 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. 40 cents off per gallon for Inner Circle members. Go fill up. Go take advantage of the deals from Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Fill up at Circle K, then meet me out at Wild Horse Pass, because nobody does it better than Gila River Resorts and Casinos, not just for our son's watch party that we're doing on Monday at 6 o'clock, but also for everything else that you need for entertainment and excitement here in the Valley. Whether it is Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vequiva, Santan Mountain, you can experience the best the Valley has to offer. The best at their resorts and letting relaxation take charge with unbeatable desert and mountain views. The best at their slots and live table games with their state-of-the-art gaming floor. The best at their sports books, where you can catch all the action, whether it's a Saturday college football slate, a Sunday NFL slate, or of course, that wonderful NBA slate as well. You can go big and go home a winner. Plus, you can dine from upscale to approachable, from casual to classy, from bar to bar none. Their selection of dining options, always in good taste. Just remember, you do you. At Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Rubus, did you listen to another hour-long press conference today?
This one was only 27 minutes long.
Not bad.
And you know what? It was also the longest it took to talk about ASU. Usually press conferences are like, oh, what's coming up with ASU? This one, it was like 15 minutes. ASU wasn't brought up. I was like, all right, cool.
The reporters just not doing their jobs or what, man?
No, they were just focused on the team, which, I get it. I understand, But, I was super excited to hear from Coach Frisky Willie Fritz. And it was great to know that Kenny A has somebody else who literally does not have a voice anymore. But B, somebody who I think kind of matches his freak a little bit. And I think Houston kind of matches ASU's freak from last year. And funny enough, Coach Fritz actually said that he was at the college football playoff game when just giving his opening statements about ASU.
Well, obviously they're the defending Big 12 conference champion. Matter of fact, I actually went to their game against Texas. And, they had a call here or there that, they didn't quite get. They should have, would have, could have won the game. So Coach Dillingham has done a phenomenal job, and they've done a great job recruiting and very, very talented offense, defense, kicking game. So it's going to be a big time challenge for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a big-time challenge. We just got to go out there.
Dude,
we just got to –
I thought I clicked on the next clip. That was really good.
You did do a really good one.
Thank you.
Ironically enough, now 2 weeks in a row where I think on Wednesday we are mimicking the opponent's head coach.
Yeah,
Isn't this 3 weeks in a row?
Who do we do the bye week?
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Or no, we didn't do.
We didn't do Dillingham. You're right.
Yeah. No.
If you had to guess, how old is Willie Fritz?
If I just listen to him,
no, like just give me a guess. Like
He's
if
not
I
that
asked
old.
you right now, how old is he?
if I saw that clip, I would say probably like 65.
I think he's in mid-50s.
He's 65 exactly.
Well,
Wow.
that's Totri.
Wow. Yeah. Now, if
was
I
nice.
just heard him, I would say 140.
Yeah. No, for
Like,
sure.
In all honesty, there.
Well, and he didn't give too much about ASU in those opening statements, but he was followed up with another question about, did he feel like ASU kind of laid this blueprint on how to turn a program around in the transfer portal era, and specifically relating to how successful Houston has also been this season?
Yeah, I think they went from 3-9 to conference champs. Won the conference championship game, and this can happen in this day and age if you're smart with how you do things. You got a chance to flip things quickly. Back in the old days, you developed guys. You still got to develop guys, but now you can get some guys who've got some experience on your team, and that's the goal for everybody.
Aaron says, he's been smoking Marlboro Reds since '77. I think he invented Marlboro Reds, to be honest with you.
Aaron's comment actually got me thinking. He looks like if Brent Brennan smoked a pack a day.
Wes Beasy says he sounds like Doc Rivers.
Yeah. Oh, we just got to go out there. We got to play better defense. No, I think it's fun to watch a team like Houston kind of come up in the Big 12 this season. And I mean, they're off to an incredible start. I don't think anybody's expecting them to compete this season, but at this point, last season, nobody really expected ASU to compete either. They got some pretty key recruits coming in next year. And it's kind of nice, Totri, that we're 3 years, not even fully, into the Kenny Dillingham experience. And it's already like he laid the blueprint out. Like, yeah, that was the blueprint. We saw how fast you could turn a program around nowadays.
It's kind of funny. It's funny and ironic at the same time, because Dilly, I think earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week, was talking about how he had reached out to some people in like the football ranks to just discuss, maybe practice things with certain players, et cetera, and didn't care to, bring up who. He wanted to keep it to himself. And then he was asked today at practice, kind of the same, if he's had people reach out to him, right? And his response is like, not so much about like coaching. He's like, I'm not really the shining example of it. I've only been doing this for like 2.5 years as a head coach. And it is really wild to think about that, because the success occurred so early on in Dilly's career as a head coach, right? You go from year 1, 3-9, to year 2, you're a 10-3 football team that finishes the year ranked in the top 10 of the CFP rankings. You win your conference in the first year that you're in it, and you're a play away from advancing to the Final Four of college football, right? So it is wild to think about that. Maybe that is the blueprint of, when you first get there, you bring in your guys that have the culture that you want to establish, the mentality that you want to establish. But when Dilly was talking about, other coaches reaching out to him, it was more so about the new era, right? Of like, hey, how do you relate to kids? You're like the second youngest coach in college football at this level. So like, how do you relate to them, right? How do you communicate with them, et cetera? And it's so unique to hear somebody of Willie Fritz, of his experience, and his age, kind of give Dilly that that nod of respect, saying, maybe that is, the new blueprint for how you build a team, how you build a program. And I mean, who would have thought we'd be here 2.5, 3 years later, from that first press conference with Dilly, man.
But I think we all thought we would get here eventually, right?
Yeah.
It felt like, hey, this is the right play. And I think, a lot of people don't like to credit luck right? People like to say, oh, well, you don't get lucky, whatever. But like it also does take some luck to get to this point. Like if Arizona State didn't get helped out at the end of last season by BYU pooping their pants and Kansas finally figuring out how to play football, and they
or
didn't
Baylor losing to Colorado on a
Right.
Hail Mary.
Right. And they don't make the Big 12 championship. Like, it's not like the narrative from last season is bad, but I mean, think about how much water saying Big 12 championship carries, right? And then going to college ball playoffs and going on this national stage. Like, if that stuff didn't happen, which ASU had no control over, we're not talking about a completely different program right now, but they're certainly in a different place. This whole season, defending, reigning Big 12 champions, the coverage, like top 11 team in the country coming into it. Like these are things that aren't happening if Baylor doesn't score last second against Colorado, if Kansas doesn't wildly win a couple of games in the row, right? But the controllables that ASU had, especially when it came to like investing in the kids, right? And not just relating to them, but being honest with them and kind of being a different type of coach in this modern era of NIL. It's not just a fact of, hey, Kenny knows what he's doing to get kids in the building. It's Kenny knows what kind of kids to get in the building and how to get people to want to be there. And that is the biggest thing nowadays, because you can invest in somebody and then all of a sudden, a year later, not only are they playing another school, they might be playing for your rival. Right. Yeah. So how do you get guys that want to be there, that are invested in you as a person? You invest in them as a person. And so it's not just the blueprint of going in the transfer portal. It's the blueprint of zigging when everybody else is zagging, like doing something different than just offering kids money and getting out of the way. And for a school like Houston that has to compete with all of these other Texas schools that have a boatload of money, you can't be the money guys. ASU can't be the money guys overall. They can get better, but they can't be hey, we've got $1 billion of NIL that we can dip into like some of these other blue bloods. So Kenny's laid out that blueprint in a couple of different ways for coaches to at least follow from afar if they're not talking to him directly.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, kind of on that same token of like changing the program, right? Houston was a 4-win team last year. They are already 6-1 to start this 2025 season. So we'll see. We will 1,000% see if Houston can continue the run that they're on, or if they meet their match this weekend in Tempe against an Arizona State team, Erik, that we've talked about all show long and really all week long, that just because you beat Texas Tech last week doesn't really mean a whole lot now. It's got to be 100% on to Houston, and that's where your focus needs to be if you still want to accomplish what you hope to accomplish. At the end of the season, you need a win here against a 6-1 football team at the end of the day. That is, they have circled this game for sure, going to Tempe and taking on the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Yeah, they do. And also when you have a guy like Sam Leavitt, who is always the focus of opposing coaching staffs, and he goes out and makes plays, like, you can't sleep on somebody, even without Jordyn Tyson. And we'll hear what Coach Fritz had to say about the dual threat that Sam Leavitt is, but we're going to do that in overtime. If you are watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com. So I think the great thing about Sam being a little healthier this week is that it's going to keep the Houston coordinators on their toes, because now that you're without Jordyn Tyson, you don't really know where the ball is going to go. And if Sam can move better than he did against Tech, well, now that's another element that you don't have as much film off of from at least last week, because Sam was a lot less mobile, even though he showed it in flashes. So Coach Fritz was asked about the dual threat that Sam has and how he kind of compares to Fafita of last week and even Wigman himself.
Arizona State's quarterback is also able to kind of run around Sam Leavitt's able to make plays with his legs. What challenge does that kind of bring to
he must have been at our meeting this morning. We were talking about that. Both of them, they may not be the same size, but they both do a good job of extending plays and running the ball. And they've got an excellent quarterback. He's one of the top guys in the country at the quarterback position. So, you wish, 20 years ago, guys were getting in the pocket and they were statues. And that's not the case anymore. It seems like all of them can move around a little bit, but we're going to be playing back-to-back weeks where the guys can really move around well.
The two most polar opposite voices of all time, Totri and the reporter and Coach Fritz.
That was something I didn't see coming. And I had already heard the clip. And I still was thrown off at the reporter question. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a mobile quarterback in today's day and age of football, you're not going to win. You look at all the top quarterbacks at the NFL level. They can all move. They're all dual threat guys. This is not 10, 15 years ago where it was a gimmick. This is a new age of quarterback, a new way to play offense that really started with Tim Tebow decades ago. And Sam Leavitt is that type of quarterback, somebody that isn't afraid to take off, can still throw on the run, can throw, can do everything that you need him to do as a quarterback in the modern age. So it is changing the way that defenses have to play Arizona State, especially when you have weapons that are healthy, right? When Tyson is out there, when Ralik's out there, when Shaman's out there. So without Tyson, I'm very interested to see what the dual threat looks like against this Houston defense that by all accounts is really, really good at stopping the run. And yes, Noah Fafita, who the Cougs played last week, is somewhat of a dual threat quarterback. He is nowhere near the athleticism of Sam Leavitt. So it's if Houston's defense thinks they're going to stroll into Mountain America Stadium with the same game plan that got the job done against Arizona, they are in for a very rude awakening on Saturday.
Yeah, and I don't think they will. The most telling thing that I think Fritz said there was, well, they got one of the best in the country at that position. I know a lot of people, including myself, at points this season have had, complaints about Sam Leavitt or I think valid criticisms as well, not just out of nowhere. I think there are some people who've gone way too far and who are continue to go way too far, saying he's not the guy or whatever. But at the end of the day, opposing coaches respect the hell out of him. And opposing defenses are scared of him. And like Short Bus said in there, like back against the wall, you take Sam Leavitt over anybody. And this weekend, even though you're favored, still after Jordyn
Tyson by 7, by the way.
Yeah. Even though you're home where you haven't lost in 2 calendar years, right? You still have your back against the wall. A team with a better record than you. You're going in without your top offensive lineman and your top wide receiver and possibly 2 of your best players in the secondary, right? Go out there and win a damn football game. Sam Leavitt's going to be the guy who does it.
Short Best says, what's Sam's record at home? Unbeaten.
Never lost.
A couple of final comments that I have to get to because they're just too funny not to. Satan and Satin says, I'm trying to quit vaping, and that voice is reminding me why. Will says, get off my lawn-ass voice. Says he's the voice in the quit smoking commercial. Wes Beasy, he sounds like he wants to take 10 paces and call someone a huckleberry. Oh, great stuff. Hunter Zona, is the reporter the shrimp from Shark Tale? I literally did that voice while that was playing. Great stuff. Just phenomenal stuff.
Are you sure that was a college student?
Had to be. Right?
I don't know.
Or like a high schooler?
Hold on.
Arizona State's quarterback is also able to kind of run around Sam Leavitt, able to make plays with his legs. What challenge?
My sister, she just had a baby.
Let's get out of here.
That's it. That's all we got today, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you enjoyed today's content, give the show a follow at PHNX Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Totri. You can follow Rubis at Erik Ruby. That is, again, Erik with a K. You can follow the Deli Man at Shane Deef.
Judging people by their voices as always.
And we will be back on Friday at noon. Going back to that noontime for Friday. So be there or be square. And of course, we will see you guys then. But as always, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.